Hello once again, Niner Faithful, and welcome back to another episode of 49ers Playbook on the channel that's trying to answer the whys and hows of the game. Brock Purdy has been challenging NFL narratives and draft evaluations since he took over as the starter of the 49ers late last year. His play this year has been unbelievable. People have been arguing it's the weapons, it's the scheme, it's all these other factors, but the tape shows, while those help, he is operating the offense at an extremely high level, making high-level quarterback plays, and the league has been filled with quarterbacks with superb weapons, yet there's no asterisk next to Steve Young or Kurt Warner's names in the Hall of Fame that they played in great offensive systems with great players around them. The fact is, Brock Purdy is playing at an MVP level and the film shows it. So we're going to cover a lot of his last game against the Seahawks, as well as showing what it is that Brock Purdy is doing as a quarterback that is deserving of the Most Valuable Player award this season. You're watching Johnny Dell's Football Academy. I know it's going to seem odd looking at a sack as the first highlight, but there's a reason. This is early in the game against the Seahawks, and they start out showing two high safeties, then walk Julian Love down late in cover 3 zone. We're running a sucker concept, which is a short curl paired with a basic route. It looks to put a hook curl player in a vertical stretch. So Purdy is reading Bobby Wagner, who drops a little but doesn't commit to the basic route, because the way Seattle was playing these, the backside hook player was matching the deeper routes. So Purdy, seeing Wagner about to drive on the throw, pulls it down and it's a sack. So now we fast forward to the next drive, and this is why I showed that play. We're going to show the same pre-snap motion as the play I just showed. The Seahawks showed too high pre-snap, and now we're going to run a sucker concept again, but this time have a backside widened post, or what Kyle calls a widened hammer. This is where Purdy's processor is just different. Right at the snap, the Seahawks are dropping into cover 3 buzz. Purdy looks to the sucker where Julian Love is now the backside hook player and is looking to match the basic route, just like we saw earlier. So Purdy moves to Ayuk into the vacated zone. Look at where Ayuk is when Purdy starts his windup. He's at the top of the stem on a route that's going to break in and move upfield. And look at the accuracy. This is as high-level quarterback play as you will see from any player in the league. Post-snap rotation of the defense to clue in immediately to the defensive shift, know how they played this concept the last time, read a different player in the hook, throw on time with this anticipation and accuracy. This is not normal. This is not the weapons. Watch how efficient he is with the footwork on this read. Back step, one hitch, ball out. Just watch this from the other end zone and you'll see his eyes, where they go, and the accuracy on the ball. Then the vision is just outstanding with outstanding accuracy. So Debo talked about this play that he was the last option to throw to on this play, and let's break it down and you'll see why this is special. So we're running sort of a double post concept here. You get Debo running a through route and Ayuk running a widened post. Debo is mainly a clearing route. Against cover 3, the idea is that Debo is going to grab the high safety and a weak side hook player who is responsible for matching the number 3 on these kind of routes. You're trying to grab those, then hit Ayuk down the seam. And if that's taken away, then have Jennings on a curl route where the weak side hook player would vacate to cover Debo. They're working the deep safety and hook players. Just want to make that clear so we understand the progression. It's Ayuk in a horizontal stretch of the deep safety, then Jennings at number 2 at a vertical stretch of the hook player, with Debo as number 3. But while this is really clean for us to see pre-snap with my diagramming, Seattle isn't showing a clean look. The safeties are back and the linebackers are lurking. At the snap, they're coming with a double creeper blitz, which means they're bringing both linebackers over the middle, but dropping 7 into coverage in cover 3 buzz. Most quarterbacks seeing those linebackers rush think all-out blitz and look to get rid of it hot. Purdy just reads it like it's no big deal. He sees the safety shaded towards Ayuk and moves to the hook player, Adams, who's flat-footed on Debo's through route. So Purdy is going deep. Look at the accuracy of this throw. You can't walk it down and hand it to Debo any better than this for an explosive touchdown. Again, this is not normal. This is not the weapons. There are a lot of quarterbacks in the league who never read this play like this. Then there's these off-schedule explosive plays he's brought. So we start out with Kittle out wide. With a corner on him, this is showing zone coverage. With a single safety, this looks like cover 3 zone. We're going to look to hit Ayuk in the intermediate area by clearing out with Conley, then bringing Ayuk over the middle on a deep in route. Right at the snap, you'll see Seattle shift into cover 6, which is cover 2 plus cover 4. The corner carries Conley, and you'll see Love turn toward the deep end, and Jordan Brooks has gotten depth. Purdy thinks about trying to drop it into the hole, but pulls it down. His check down is now covered, but you love that Purdy keeps his eyes downfield. He works back to Ayuk, and once he sees Love flat-footed, this is where he's decided he's throwing this to Ayuk, and watch this throw. Again, just watch it from the end zone. But he's not just running these plays the same way every time. Kyle Shanahan said this was one of his favorite plays of the day from Purdy. They're running the same play we saw earlier where he hit Ayuk on a widened hammer. We're going to have Debo and Ayuk on a sucker concept, and then have Kittle on that backside post. As he's dropping back, Purdy sees the defense in cover 3 zone, and Jordan Brooks is shaded to the sucker concept again. So he looks to Kittle, but Brooks never fully committed, and the corner is all over Kittle. So he moves back to the sucker and works it high-low to Debo, where Debo is able to take it for a big chunk gain. I know it just looks like a check down, but in Kyle Shanahan's own words, he volunteered this play as one of his favorite from Purdy. Then you can't just discredit him for running the plays as called and for great play calls. So this is the first play of the fourth quarter, and we come out in 22 personnel with 2 backs and 2 tight ends. We bring Warner in late motion and are running this toss zone. Notice how hard Julian Love attacks the run. So the very next play, we come out in the same formation. We've just swapped Juice and Warner. We run the same pre-snap movement, but this time are going to go play action and hit Kittle on a stock rail route. A stock rail is going to come up, look like he's going to block, then run a fade down the sideline. So just like the previous play, Love comes up aggressively on the run, and he has to try and grab Kittle as he goes by, but again, look at the accuracy of Purdy. But also watch him work the play from the end zone. He's going to look off the free safety during the fake, and it holds him long enough so he has to take a bad angle on Kittle. People talk about the weapons, but the accuracy, the little things of looking off the safety. Yes, it's a great play call. Yes, it's a great player he's throwing to, but Purdy is also executing these at a high level. But Purdy has been doing this stuff all year against some tough defenses. Week 5 against Dallas, they're playing a matching 3 zone. They're going to have Ray McCloud on a clearing route, and then have Ayuk stem out, and then break on a deep in. Look at where Ayuk is when Purdy is in his windup. If Purdy is late on this throw, the free safety is either going to blow up Ayuk or get a pick. and he's got so many throws in his arsenal. Here the Cowboys are showing single high, they've got Gilmore traveling, and he looks like he's shadowing Ayuk. This looks like man coverage. To the 3 receiver side, we're running a choice clear concept. To the 2 receiver side, we're running Ayuk on a deep in route and McCaffrey on a choice out China. You'll see Dallas roll into what I've known as an Okie Tampa. The safety rolls over and Gilmore is playing a deep half. If this were a middle of the field closed defense like what Dallas was showing pre-snap, the choice clear concept is where he'd work. But with a middle of the field open rotation and the mic shaded to the 3 receiver side, Purdy sees it and drops a perfectly layered throw over Van Der Esch into the soft area of the Tampa zone. Just look at how quickly he reads this, the accuracy, the touch. So this is 3rd and 14 after a holding penalty, and we get a big first down. Dallas is showing single high again, and we're running a dagger concept with Jennings and Debo. At the snap, Dallas flies out in Tampa 2 zone, and you'll see Van Der Esch take Jennings on the seam route. Again, look at how early Purdy is making this throw. You cannot throw a ball any better than that. Yak, it happens because of anticipation, accuracy, and being on time, just like this. So here he is against the Vikings with a so-called off game. Minnesota loves to come with a ton of pressure, but you have to be careful because they might just drop 8 into coverage on you. They're giving him a look where they're going to have the corners in a flat, or what we call a cloud coverage. Just watch him. He's not staring down his receiver. He's going to have Ayuk on a tree route, which is a 10-yard out route. He checks the defense, sees the pressure coming, and knows he's got Ayuk one-on-one, and look how early he is on the throw. He's starting his windup when Ayuk is still 5 yards from his break point. If you've watched the channel, you've heard me point this out before. This is the combine throw they make all the quarterbacks do, the 10-yard out route from the far hash. That's the throw they want to see if a quarterback can make all the throws, because this is the most dangerous throw in football. If the ball is late, doesn't have enough zip, or is behind the receiver, it's a pick six. Then the ability to throw with accuracy and timing even from a dirty pocket. Minnesota is showing the same look at the play where Purdy threw the out route to Ayuk. Now Minnesota comes with a 2 deep fire zone. Middle of the field open. We're running what Kyle calls a Hooters concept, which is a pair of deep in routes. Look where Jennings is when Purdy has started his throwing motion. He's still 5 yards from his break point, and Purdy is going to layer this ball over the underneath coverage, pinpoint accuracy and timing when he's about to get hit. This is high caliber quarterback play. People say he's not a great athlete. Well, he's good enough to avoid a free rusher, roll out, and hit Ayuk deep down the field. He's been making these high-level plays in every single game this year. Here against the Bengals, backed up at their own 5-yard line, the Bengals are showing a cover 1 man alignment. We're running what I think Kyle calls fork. You have a through route from the tight end, normally with a Dover or dig route at 15 yards, but here they're running a drift route at 10 yards. and then a short underneath. It's a high-low read. At the snap, the Bengals are rotating into Tampa 28 zone, so it's Tampa 2 with an 8-man drop. Purdy sees the middle of the field open, Mike in a trail position, and this is just as the footwork calls for on this play. 5 steps, a hitch, and then watch the ball placement as he shields Kittle from the big hit. This is so good. Then here he is against the Jaguars. We first motion Kittle across, and with no one traveling, this looks like zone coverage. We're running a basic concept, which is a basic route paired with a rail route. At the snap, the Jaguars are bringing pressure and playing cover 1 man behind it. Purdy wants to get it to Ayuk with no short underneath help, but pulls it down when he sees the safety about to jump it and uncorks this pass to George Kittle. From the end zone, you can appreciate how hard this throw was and the ridiculous accuracy to drop this ball in there. And then another big chunk play. This isn't the result of just the system or the players. It's 3rd and 9, and we're running a speedo concept with Debo where you'll have a clearing route with a high crosser. Then pair this to make it look like a dagger with Ayuk running a blaze out, which will break in at 15 yards, then work back outside. They want Debo, and the Jaguars are showing a cover 1 man alignment. At the snap, they're going to roll into Tampa 2 zone. Purdy's reading the Mike and Will, who are sitting on Debo's high crosser, and works to Ayuk, sees the outside safety start to drive on what he thinks is a dig, and is going to layer this throw to the outside over the cloud defender and away from the safety. If Purdy is a hair late on that throw, it's a pick. He's making these very, very high level plays in each and every game. People will say, oh, you're cherry picking plays. That's why I pulled plays from so many different games, not just the wins, the losses too, and you can find plays like this in every single game he's played this year. Where it's not just the system, it's not just the great players around him, every single game. There's plays just like this where he's processing the field, making on time, accurate throws to every area of the field, on schedule, off schedule, making plays, and having historically one of the most efficient seasons from any quarterback ever. There have been a lot of great quarterbacks with great weapons that Purdy's season is beating out in terms of efficiency. The 49ers are 3rd in the league in passing yards and 32nd in attempts. He's putting up monster numbers without throwing the ball 40 plus times a game. Because when he's throwing it, he's making high level plays. To me, if the season ended today, there should be no question that Brock Purdy is league MVP. But that's not for me to decide, only to argue. That's it for this week's review, so until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, and go Niners.